So welcome everybody, a very warm welcome to this, my brand new live masterclass on content that previously had only been shared with a select few members of my community. And it was so well received and there were so many powerful messages that audience actually took away from it. I actually decided that I would broaden this out because it would appear that this is like a really key topic for lots of business owners. Terry just says she can't find the link to the workbook. Don't worry about it, Terry. I'll send it out with a recording. As I was saying before, there is a workbook. Good. There is a workbook to go along with this. If you've not downloaded it in my Facebook group, Live Your Abundant Life, again, I'll post it in the group. And basically, what I love to do with anything that I'm creating, whether that's live training, a masterclass, a webinar, I really want to make it as engaged as possible. I want you guys to get as much as possible out of it. That's very much the reason why you've got workbooks. So this is about you taking this time, this content into your business and take it to the next level, because you can listen to all the content in the world, but until you start to implement these strategies into your own business, that's what's going to make the difference. So we've been having a little chat over on Zoom. So for the guys hi Sophia, lovely to see you here. Sophia's just recovering from major surgery, so she's done pretty well to get here, hasn't she? Hurrah for Sophia, well done. So in terms of how this is going to work, one of the, so I'm going to share all of the content. This is, what happens in my business in order for me to generate 5K in my business. And I have 5K months, I have 5K weeks. So obviously this is something that you're interested in. And I'm going to share it from my perspective. So this isn't one of these webinars where people get really woolly and they kind of fudge the details. I'm actually going to share you exactly what I do in my business. So some of this is going to really resonate with you and you're going to get some aha moments, and it's going to be very clear that these are strategies that you can use. There'll be other things that come up and you'll just dismiss it straight away that this isn't something for you. So it's really about using the workbook to decide what of the content I share are you going to take forward. So that is kind of my top tips and about how to get the most of it. Part of what I promised to do here, and this applies to the guys over in the live stream as well, is that after the live masterclass, I'm actually going to do a draw and pull out one or two people's names who will actually be invited as a total gift into a 2-hour deep dive coaching call with me. So it's brilliant that you actually kind of signed in and shared who you are. So I've got that information. I'll be sorting out after the masterclass has run, but that's something that I kind of offered to you guys. And I've done these previously after masterclasses and they've been really, really powerful for the client. So as I said, I want this to be as interactive as possible. This is your time. So hi Victoria, lovely to see you here. So what I'd love for you to share with me is really, what is it that you want to know about generating 5K in your business? So is this a goal so let me just throw a load of questions at you so then you can share your answers. So is 5K a target that you've been working towards? Is it one that you aspire to work towards? Have you nearly got there but you've not quite managed it? Look, it would be really great to really understand where you are. And just to put it into context as well, when we talk about 5K, you might be here and thinking, well, actually I'm quite away from actually achieving 5K. But just to put this into context, at the beginning of 2015, beginning of 2000 and the end of 2015, the beginning of 2016, I was generating like a consistent 1,500, 2,000 in my business. And I really was working very hard, and I was, obviously following lots of the strategies because I'm a business coach. But really, I was struggling to boost beyond that point. But then I started to use these strategies that I'm going to be sharing today, and it happened really quickly and easily and very gracefully. So if anybody sat here kind of maybe thinking this is going to be interesting but it's not for me, I really want to give you the confidence that actually I truly believe that you can actually generate whatever results you want in your business. And even if you're generating £300 or £400 or £500 a month, that actually there's some things that you can do quite quickly to turn that around. So Terry is sharing she'd be very happy with 5,000 per month. Yoo-hoo! So brilliant. So she's already building up a business. She's already generating, a substantial amount of money in her business. But it's all about taking it to the next level. Yeah, Sally says she struggles with cash flow and needs to find more clients quickly, generate 5,000. Yes. Because that's the other question for you as well. And this is to really kind of to really engage with you and to get you really thinking about this and making sure that the information that I go on to share with you really kind of sinks deep down within you and that you get the maximum out of this, is I want you to think about what will it be like for you when you are generating £5,000 in your business, or $5,000 or €5,000, whatever your currency is. So I want you to just take a little moment to think about that. What would that be like for you? And so you can decide if that's 5,000 a week, 5,000 a month. It might even be 5,000 a quarter. You can carve this up whichever way you want to. But what I really want you to do right now is for you to think about what your life will be like. And I'd love for you to come and share that here as well. So yes, so lots of people over in the live stream, Patty and Alison, saying they're not there yet. And what I wanted to share with you is that the very first thing that happens in order for you to make this occur is a decision that is going to happen. So, but it's got to be like an important goal. £5,000 was an important goal for me. Hopefully it's an important goal for you because you're here. So let's just think about what that would be like. So Terry's saying, when I'm only 5,000 per month, I can take my kiddies out every weekend, makes memories fantastic. That's great. Sally says to earn that and the same amount every month will help with my confidence, pay off the bills. Lindsay, I'm not even making, right, so let's just do a quick reframe. Lindsay has said she's not even making £500 a month right now. And I want to say that if you're so Alison is saying it'll stop her from stressing. But I want to say that, we're all here, we're all in business. It's not the easiest path in the world, is it? It can be really tough and it can do all sorts of things to us in terms of our mindset and our belief and our confidence. And obviously the money in the bank as well. But I want to say that if you're in business and you're still in business and you're generating money in your business, you've got a viable business and you've got the opportunity to turn that around. So Patty was saying that she could retire from her full-time job. So listen, if it was as easy as just watching this masterclass and participating in it and all the rest of it, if it was as easy as that would be amazing, wouldn't it? That would be really cool that we could just do that. But what I want you to think about is how much you want £5,000. Because let's be honest, lots of us have money like beliefs. And actually saying you want to generate more money, whether that is 5,000, 1,000, 3,000, whatever it is, often when we start to think about generating more money for ourselves, all sorts of money beliefs can crop up for us. And we can start to think, like 5,000, wow, that's too much, or I'm being greedy, or all sorts of ideas can come into our heads. And that decision that I was talking about at the beginning is very much like the decision that you have taken, that you were all in to actually generate this money consistently in your business. And that actually you want to become comfortable with calling in £5,000. And obviously I'm going to use pounds here because that's my currency. But if your currency is different, use that. So I want you to become really, really comfortable with the idea, even just that simple thought of saying it's okay that you want to generate £5,000. Because if you look at it, you think about how that money would positively impact on yourself, on your clients, on your business, on your family, on your future decisions. I mean, that's massive already. Patty's already saying that she would retire from her full-time job. I mean, that's amazing, isn't it? But let's really build that fire and build that desire to do this. So let's go a little bit deeper than this. Let's think about what will your future life look like when you are consistently calling in £4,000, £5,000, £6,000 into your business. What would your life look like? What would your business look like? What support would you bring into your business? How many hours would you be working? What support would you have in your life? You know, I've got to put my hands up and say that I do not run my life on my own. I have like a wonderful woman who comes in and cleans for me, and I have somebody else who does my ironing. Apart from like looking after the kids and doing the grocery side of things and running my business, that's kind of like what I do. And I'm really comfortable with saying that because I understand what I've gone through and what I've achieved and what I've put in place and how much I've grown in order for me to call these things into me. That's okay, I'm happy with that. And I've obviously got, you know, my VA and my technical VA and my coaches. You know, it's like having that money gives you so much more choice. So let's start thinking about that. So what would some of those choices be for you? And what would it be like, you know, Sally was sharing that, you know, she'd be back in the black. And it's kind of thinking about this in the sense that this is possible. Every single one of us can do this. If I can do it, you can do it. If I can go from like £300 to £1,500 to £5,000, so can you. And they were like little steps, whether they're quite big steps. So you can do that too. But I really want you to get quite excited about the fact that once you've made this declaration to yourself that you're going to do whatever it is and that you're all in to actually generate £5,000 consistently in your business, I want you to get really, really excited about it and start to think about, you know, the travel plans that you're perhaps going to have, or the perhaps it's going to allow you to take on some projects, or perhaps it's going to mean that you can redecorate your home or buy a new home or buy a second home. I've just bought my third property. You know, in terms of generating money, you've got to have a reason for doing it. And, you know, I have fabulous holidays. Well, if that's something that you want, let's make it happen. None of you are here to like live a small, like tight, almost like hard-working, miserable life, are you? You're here to live a fabulous life. So Sally was saying that with the money she'd invest in her business. Same hours, same length of service, just the opportunity to have a holiday. Yes, to holidays. Terry said she'd have a business coach, invest in a website, hire VAs. Brilliant. So you would actually create your own agency. How exciting would that be? You'd have more time to work spend with your family. Okay. So hopefully I've kind of stirred the particles. You've got some excitement about actually making this happen. You've got a reason for being here and a reason for making it happen as well. So that's really cool. So let's get into this content then. And I really want to just share with you that, so Sally was saying that she'd redecorate her home. Yes, get a therapy dog, buy some clothes, take holidays, buy a sheet to look after others. Oh, fantastic. Lindsay said to have a coach and travel. Fantastic. Brilliant. So you're all in it, aren't you? So let me just give a very quick overview of who I am. Those guys who are over and live your abundant life, you totally know who I am. But some of you over on the Masterclass perhaps just come across me for the first time, or you've been kind of reintroduced to me. And I just want to kind of state that obviously I'm a business coach. I'm a trained coach, I'm a trained NLP practitioner. But what I like to bring to the table is a mix of like business strategy. So it's looking at everything in your business. It's looking at what your business model is, what your packages are, and then looking at where you want to be in the future and looking at the strategies that are actually going to help you achieve that. And obviously one of my key kind of powerhouses is mindset. And, you know, 80% of all success is your mindset. So that is one of the things that I throw into the mix, along with understanding that it's very essential for all of us to be more successful, is also for us to have a beautiful relationship with money. So I am a business coach and strategist, but kind of superpowers include mindset, money, and just basically being able to move you from where you are to where you want to be. So that's all I'm going to say. If you want to find out more about me, you can just keep connected with me through social media. I have a Facebook group, Live Your Abundant Life. You're very welcome to come and join it if you haven't found me in there. So let me just share who it is that I work with. So I have a really clear idea about who my soul client is. And that is probably, well, I know that one of my soul clients is most definitely here because it's Karen, who's currently working with me. But, let's just get into having a little bit of a check through to make sure that you're in the right place. So my soul clients are the women who know that they're here to play like a bigger game. So it's a little bit like Terry. It's like she's generating good money in her business, but she knows that she's here to do more. She's got exciting plans to actually create like an agency of VAs and actually work more strategically in her own business. Totally my soul client. My soul client are also women like you who want to attract more clients consistently but gracefully. All this grinding and hustling and all of this like working hard, working silly hours is something that you have no appetite for. You know that you want to grow your business. You know that this is going to have a positive impact on your life. You are becoming more comfortable with saying yes to the fact that you want to earn more money. And this is the right time right now for you to grow your business and take it to the next level. You're done with playing it small, you're done with working it hard. And actually what you're all in for is to really focus on your business, do the things that need to be done, to be supported, to have those breakthroughs, to get out of your groove, to get out of your own way, and to actually call it in exactly what you want. I understand that, your challenges are actually, can you flip and do this? Can you actually seriously generate all of the success that you want? Your other challenges are that you know that you need to be more visible and you're feeling a little bit stuck about that. And you also understand that in order for you to generate the success that you're hungry for, that you know that you want to call in, is that you need to be doing more launching, more selling of your products and services. And you've got a slight resistance to that. You've got some fear around it. You're not quite sure how to get started with it. And it's these challenges are very, very real for you. And these are the things that are getting in the way for you right now. So if you're nodding away and going, yes, Rachel, that's totally who I am, you are definitely in the right place and you are definitely my soul client. So I'm going to now tip into the kind of content specifically about how I generate 5K in my business. I've touched on quite a lot of it already, but I'm going to go into the detail of it. What I would love for you to do whilst I'm sharing this content is for you to ask your questions. Ask your questions, share your aha moments, share those moments of kind of really understanding that these are the things that you need to take forward. So the very first thing that I'll say that made the big difference for me in 2017, and this was definitely evidenced when I was going through my accounts, was that every time I invested in my business, if that's with either coaching or training or support, that they were the months that I generated the most money. So it was obviously the support, the accountability, the mindset work. It was all of those things that made a massive difference to me. And one of the things that I had to look at in 2016 was my business model. And in fact, the early part of 2016, I actually sat a number of clients who I absolutely adored. But I realized that actually the business model that I'd been going down the route of using was a business model that was a very hungry model. And I had very little appetite to invest in it up front to make it work. So it was very much, the kind of starting point was always looking at what my mission is, what my vision is, and therefore working back from that point of how was I going to actually make that happen. And so many times, so many people, you might be nodding away and saying that this is true for yourself, is that, perhaps your business has evolved to the point where you can't grow it any further with the way that it's currently structured. And it's about having the confidence to actually look at your business and understanding that there's some aspects that perhaps need changing and some aspects that need perhaps automating or dropping or passing on to somebody else. So just think about, that's one of the first things for me was about the level of support that I was bringing into my business was massive. And looking at my business model, looking at where I wanted to be and having, that fire kind of lit up in me, and making like this declaration that I was going to do whatever it took in order for me to make my business grow and for me not to work silly hours. So I just really want you to kind of consider that. Whilst I just make a note of who's here just for the draw. I don't want to miss anybody off. That would be awful, wouldn't it? So we've got Patty over here. Okay, brilliant. So that was the first aspect. The second, and you will have heard me, if you're new to me, you wouldn't have heard me say this very often, but if you know me, you're not going to be too surprised about the second kind of strategy that I bring into my business to generate 5K. And that is my daily mindset practice. It's a total no, it's non-negotiable for me. This happens every day. We're talking about visualization, affirmations, journaling. And if you're thinking about, how you can move from where you are to where you want to be, and internally you're giving yourself a hard time and you're telling yourself that this isn't actually going to happen or it can't happen for you or it's too hard, all I can say is by committing to a daily mindset practice is actually going to start to train yourself to truly believe in who you are and who you want to be in the future and what you're looking to call in. And it helps you to become fearless. You start to be fearless in your actions and your activities. You start to take action forward because you understand that this fundamentally is going to help you achieve your dreams and your aspirations. So this is, my daily mindset practice is just one of those things that occurs. Definitely. So Lindsay's just saying that she needs help with the website. Kelly Carnes, that's all I can say is Kelly Carnes. Let me just put her name in here. She's one of my amazing clients and she's fabulous. Yeah, so Lindsay's looking for income on regular sessions to boost her confidence and motivation. Fearless would feel amazing. I'm pretty fearless now. It wasn't always the case, but mindset has definitely been the way to do it. So in 2016, one of the other things that I definitely did, and I do this all the time now, and in fact, I've just ramped it up again, is visibility. And there's probably so many of you going, oh yeah, I know I should be more visible, but there's some really key elements to it. Number one is you've got to know who you're speaking to. If you're talking to the masses, your message it's going to be very diluted. You want to be really thinking about who is that client who you absolutely love. I've just described my soul client to you. I know this person inside out. And like I worked with Karen last week on a 3-hour intensive. And it was intensive, but it was like the most exciting, amazing, fabulous work to do with Karen because she's my soul client. But one of the ways that I've been able to call Karen in is by being very visible. And it's about being visible with your soul client. It's about hanging out with where your soul client is. And it's been, what am I going to say? It's been consistent. Now, listen, this might freak some of you out. However, I want you to think about your consistency. So if you're like, well, I'm consistent, I want to kind of really share with you what happened for me last year is that I decided that I was going to be consistent every single day, 2 to 3 times a day. And you might be start freaking out about that, thinking, well, I haven't got time to be on social media or wherever 2 to 3 times a day. But there are some really brilliant ways and easy ways that you can make that happen. And if you're not currently part of Live Your Abundant Life, which is my Facebook group, I really encourage you to be part of that, because up until the next couple of days, there is 3 hours worth of content about how you can actually achieve visibility very, very easily. So just think about that. But that's a whole 3 hours worth of training about your visibility. So visibility in 2016 was absolutely key for me. Being consistent and the frequency was vital, 2 to 3 times a day. So let me know if you feel as if you are visible with your audience at this rate. I'd love to know. So let me share specifically how that worked for me. So how I do it in my business is that I have my Facebook group, Live Your Abundant Life. I have my Facebook page, and I'm active in up to kind of 3 other groups where my soul clients hang out. So I go in there and I create content and engagement all the time. Oh, thank you, Mary. Mary's just saying if you've not watched the content that I've just mentioned, she highly recommends that you do that. Woohoo! Great. Well done. And there's workbooks as well to help you work through it. So this kind of specifically for me is like all of everything I pour into my group. So Sally is saying that she's nervous about social media. She's on Facebook, but not Instagram or Twitter. What can I talk about? Sally, honestly, you need to just come and join Live Your Abundant Life and make sure that you listen to this content that I've been sharing over the last couple of days. In fact, if you don't start stressing about it, because if you haven't got time, I'm actually going to bundle it up at the end of the week and make it available for £37, so you can actually just buy it and have it forever. But what I'd say there, Sally, is that sometimes people think social media, I've got to be on everything. And I don't truly believe that at all. I think you dominate 1 or 2 platforms. So maybe in your case, Facebook, as long as your soul clients are found on Facebook, just dominate it. Just get out there and do it. Remember, you're here to play a bigger game. Definitely. Sorry, Karen, I said £37. Still amazing. Lindsay's sharing that she wants to be, she feels invisible to her audience. I rarely get anyone connected with my posts. The same few people comment every time. I've tried different topics and approaches. Yeah, well, don't worry about it, Lindsay, because I am actually going to make it available for £37, which would be, yeah, definitely amazing. Thank you. Yeah, it's going to be available for £37, and there's so much in it. So much in it. But specifically for me, I run my Facebook group and I pour so much value into that group. You know, they get webinars and live streams and trainings and just all sorts of different stuff. They get the kind of preview of anything that's going on. I love that community, but that was one of my specific strategies that I decided to do, was to pour a lot of love and energy into my Facebook group. I also use Facebook stories and Instagram stories. So, that's it. But I just do it consistently, and I do it over and over and over again. And if you're new to this, if you're thinking, oh, right, okay, I hear you, you've got to be more consistent, but then you start it like Lindsay's saying, it's like, oh, I feel invisible. Keep going. Invest in something like that £37 product that I was just sharing, and just keep going. Consistent, and everything will change. It's not going to happen overnight because it's such a busy marketplace, but the thing that will make you stand out, and the thing that worked for me and works for me, is being consistent. So let me share some of the content then, just to give you an idea of what works for my audience. So in terms of my visibility, here I am on Facebook, on Instagram, and the content that I use are videos. I create social media posts that look like blog posts. I create blog posts, I share testimonials, I share my story. I share client case studies. Like, is this you? Look at my amazing client Jen over here, who's going for world domination and amazingness. And what you've got to think about, and I'll come back to this, is here we are in our businesses, we're all fired up, 2nd of May, we want to make this happen. We start to put some energy into it, we don't get the results we want, we give up. So why does that happen? Because being consistent to your audience over and over again you will get the results. If you start doing that now, you'll start to get the results in terms of sales in 2 to 3 months' time. So there's no point in giving up if you don't get an immediate hit. This is a long-term strategy. So let me know if you've got any questions about that. So also something that's been raised here is kind of my 4th strategy, which was about engagement. Now, let's be honest. And also one of the things I've got to reiterate is that in terms of my client base, I have both clients who are online and offline. Now, if you are looking at an online business, 80% of my clients are online. Actually, I'd say 100% of my clients are online. I'd say 80% of my clients have an online business. This is a high contact sport now. Having been online, it's high contact. That's why I'm saying that if you want to be consistent with your visibility, you want to dominate 1 or 2 platforms and do 2 to 3 posts a day as a minimum to get you going. And don't worry about it, because when you're rocking and rolling and generating 5K in your business, you'll be able to hand some of this over to a VA. So you won't be doing it all on your own, will you? So this is a high contact sport. So the 4th strategy for me is about engagement. You can't just send out stuff out there. You've got to engage with your audience. So specifically, last year what I did was I ran challenges, which are really great fun to run, really brilliant, because your client, your ideal client, your soul client gets to see you over and over again and engages with you. Webinars. I love webinars. So this is an essentially a webinar. So webinars, live trainings, and through freebies and promoting those freebies. So engagement is absolutely key for me in order for me to engage with my audience, to demonstrate myself in terms of my position, my authority, my knowledge, what I could do for them. And it's about going that extra mile with my audience as well. So what could you do to engage your audience? Have a think about that. So the 5th one, and this comes back to, you'd have heard it said quite a few times, but the kind of path to when people decide to come and buy from you is kind of the 3 stages. First of all, people need to know about you. Secondly, they've got to like you. So some people will like you, some people won't like you. Those people who don't like you, just wish them well and open your doors for those people who absolutely adore you. And then when you've got you've got the trust bit. And it's only when people trust you will they actually buy from you. So it's not enough to be visible. It's not enough to be engaging. You want to actually build your relationships with people. Now, we're all busy people. We're all on hundreds of emails. We're all in different Facebook groups. So how can you kind of stand out and build that relationship differently from everybody else? They're some of the things that you want to think about. So these are some of the strategies that I have used in the past that have helped me build that relationship. In my Facebook group, depending on what time I have available, I will actually go out of my way and I always welcome every new person into the group. That's a done deal. That's something that's part of my strategy. The other part of my strategy is to actually private message people who come and join Live Your Abundant Life. So it's about starting to make your relationship with your audience a little bit more intimate. So, I have a group that's over 300. So I don't want to just talk to the masses. I want to talk to individuals as well. So how do you make that happen? I make that happen by welcoming all the newbies via personal message. And I actually invite them in for a chat with me. I do that in my welcome video. You can also build relationships up through market research. So market research is really powerful. And I've talked about this in the training that I shared in Live Your Abundant Life. And it's really powerful in the way that it allows you to speak one-to-one with your ideal clients, and you're going to get lots of information about their current situation, how you can help them, and so on. But it's a really great way to connect with your audience in a really intimate way as well. So market research is a great way to build relationships because they get to meet you, they get to know more about who you are, and vice versa. Also, when I talk about generating £5,000 in my business, I am going to be really honest here because I've totally promised to share the entire behind the scenes. So yes, of course I've got a sales page. How many people do you think I sell from my sales page? How many people just look at the sales page and go, wow, it's amazing. I'm going to actually click on it and go buy now. Because some of my products are over kind of £500, actually, nobody. Actually, when my products and services that I'm promoting are over £500, nobody watches a webinar, downloads the sales page, and actually clicks on buy now. So how do you make that transition? How do you actually transition your clients from being all excited and like potentially client to getting them to actually buy from you? You get into conversations with them. And this isn't like a hard sell hustle thing. This is like, you perhaps you keep an eye on your community and you can see that people are really struggling with something. So you just start to PM them. Or one of the things that I do is that before a launch, I will have created a product or service and I will have created it specifically with a number of people in mind. And before I actually start the launch, I will contact these people privately and say, look, I've got this, are you interested? I think it's perfect for you for these reasons. And do you know what they do? They buy. So if you've ever heard that strategy before and you've gone, oh, I'm not going to do it, I'm going to really invite you to think about how you can use this in your business. How can you make that happen more? So there's all sorts of things that you can do building relationships. But remember, we are talking to the masses, but you've got to have a way of bringing that down and to be intimate with your group. That's what you're looking to be. You're looking to be intimate with your group, intimate with your ideal clients. If you have an ideal client in your world who you truly believe that you can help and serve and support, I would really encourage you to get into a conversation with them and make them an offer. So the sixth strategy about how I generate money in my business is that I make offers all the frigging time, don't I? You know this if you've been following me. I have no qualms about creating, launching and selling because I do my market research, I'm connected with my audience, I understand how I can help and serve you. I understand that my clients get amazing results. I'm fearless in putting my offers together. I'm also pretty fearless about putting offers together and for them being a damn squib. I used to do that in the past and it would put me back putting anything out there ever again. Now I just think, right, what can I learn? Right, move on fast. But I create offers really, really quickly. I've had a total download about something that I'm going to create at the end of May already this month. And once I've got that download, I just make it really quickly. I don't have this big, prolonged planning session. I just go, right, that feels really great. I know that's going to really help my audience. I'm going to start creating something around that. So I create offers and I make amazing offers. So Karen is part of my mastermind. And there was a ton of offers in there and bonuses and all the rest of it. And recently I've just gifted them all private coaching. So they already had this amazing package. And just because they're all amazing and they're all in and they're taking their actions forward and they're really committing to their business, I was like, how can I actually serve these guys at a higher level? And even though it's going to obviously cost me in my time, I've added 2 additional accountability do it hustle days, which they're amazing, and I've added 4 private coaching sessions for every single one of them. So it's like, how can you delight your audience? That's, it's kind of like, how can you delight your audience? How can you make your offer so frigging amazing that it's a hell yes for people? And yes, I've got an offer for you guys at the end of today, and it is a total hell yes, if you are ready to take these steps forward. But if you think about things about, how can you make your offer so amazing? So Karen knows that all the content that I created in my 3 days training, that £37 is a total hell yes, isn't it? It's like, it's a no-brainer. Of course I'm going to give you £37. I'm going to get all this stuff and it's mine forever. Of course I'm going to do it. So that's the sort of thing that you want to do. It's not about undervaluing what you do. It's just understanding who your soul clients are, understanding what their objections are to coming and working with you, and really making something that's so juicy they can't resist you. And that actually, in putting this package together, you're serving them in such a way that it's so deeply transformational. You're doing your best work as well. Who wouldn't want that? So some of the ways that I make my offers a hell yes is I add bonuses. Sometimes it's the bonuses that people are buying. It's not the main product. It's the bonuses that they're like, yeah, I want that. So it's kind of like add bonuses. Add a payment option. If an objection for somebody to come in working and investing in you is money, make it easy for them. Give them a payment option. You could have tiered options as well. So one of the options with my mastermind was to have a VIP level, and then just have like the group level. So you can tier it as well. But deal with their objections. And then with your offers, you've got to be thinking about, where they are now. Oh, yes, Alison says she's bought the bonuses. Yeah, I've bought the bonuses before. And definitely buy the bonuses. Definitely buy the bonuses. But can you see how you can make your offers really juicy? But it's kind of like when you're creating an offer, well, let's move into number 7, is launching. Last summer, I think it was June, I had one of the most incredible months in terms of my business. So this is, like almost a year ago, but I was launching 3 things at the same time. And a coach who I really respect, I was listening to some of her free content, and she said, never ever do multiple launch. And I came off it. I was like, you're not for me. It's like if you're launching something, but you get the urge to do something else, I'd say go for it. So launching, again, so many times when people are looking at new products and services and planning it all out, it gets really caught up in all the planning, and it all becomes quite, like boring. But it's kind of like, for me, when I'm creating an offer, I get really excited about it. And from that point, I'm going to find it so easy to go out there and launch it to my audience because I'm excited about it. So I launch all the time. My audience understands that if you're going to be part of my world, you're going to get loads of content like this, which is amazing. But you're also going to see lots of offers. But guess what? People buy. So one of the questions that my coach asked me last year, which made all the difference for me, is that she asked me how open I truly was. And I was like, oh my gosh, actually, it can feel like a big secret in terms of how people can come and work with me, because I don't tell people how they can come and work with me. So I started last year to launch all the time, really gracefully, had a lot of fun with it. I still love launching. Launching is great. So it's like, be committed to the launch. If you don't know how to launch, work with somebody who knows how to launch and how to help you understand what the start, the middle and the end bit is. And to just keep in the energy. You've got to, when you're launching, you've got to be so connected to what it is that you're selling and the audience that you're speaking to, that you want it to be as high vibe as possible. If I was like delivering this webinar and it was like, la, 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 that's not high vibe, is it? I truly believe in this content. I truly believe in every single one of you who's here and everybody's listening to the recording. So it's kind of like launching was like my 7th strategy that I do all the time to generate money in my business. Because like, how else do my audience know that I've got something amazing for them to buy. You know, I could sit here, keep my fingers crossed that somebody's going to read a blog post, go on my website, look at how to work with me, and then come and work with me. Or I could be proactive and actually learn how to love launching and find a way to launch that really is lots of fun for me to do. So think about how you can do launches for yourself. And sometimes when we get into the launch, that's when the mindset stuff kicks in, like, oh, I'm not good enough. Who do I think I am? And Marie Forleo's launching B School at the same time. I can't possibly go out there with my £99 program. Of course you can. And it's like one of the key things about launching is, one of them is obviously seeing it through, not giving up, learning how to do it. But the key thing is to like surrender and to understand that those who really, truly need to come and work with you will put their hand up and find a way of coming to work with you. So it's never about thinking about the how. How am I going to get 6 people on this course? How am I going to get 30 people at this event? Don't worry about the how. Just believe in yourself and keep going and keep promoting it. And just surrender the need of knowing who it is that's coming through for you and how on earth you're going to make it happen. Just know that you are. Build that belief. So number 8, the 8th activity that I commit to doing all the time in my business, and none of you are going to be surprised by this, but you might actually start freaking out because it may be one of those things that's one of the key challenges for you. And if it is, I want to say that's fine, because I haven't always felt positive about it either. But if you do have, you know, if this is a big challenge for you, if this is actually stopping you from having your business in the way that you want to, I'd say do whatever you can to overcome it. And number 8 is selling. So number 8 is selling. So here are the things that I do to sell all the time. So I do coaching reviews for past clients. So I contact my past clients, ask them what's going on, whether or not I can help them further. So that's one of the ways that I bring in business. If I'm doing a launch, I'll run an email campaign. Of course I will. You know, that's my list. I've invested a lot of time and money and energy in generating that email list. Of course I'm going to go out there and tell them. I sell via Facebook Lives. Yep, no problem doing that. In my Facebook group, very rarely selling anybody else's. If I'm in other people's Facebook groups, it's for positioning, visibility, and so on. As I shared earlier, I sell a lot via that personal, intimate relationship that I have with people. Like, I've got this, think it'd be great for you, do you want it? And I sell via webinars, masterclasses, and challenges. So they are the key ways that I actually sell all the time. And that's it. They are the key strategies behind how I generate 5K in your business. So let me know what your questions are about that. I've rattled through the content much faster than I thought I would. I must be getting more efficient at this. But in the meantime, I want to know what your questions are, I want to know what your takeaways are, I want you to share with me where you want some further clarification, where you want me to go into some specifics. And whilst you're doing that, let me just share with you my opportunity that I've got for you. If you're going, oh my God, I can do this, but these are the challenges, you know, that I feel challenged with doing this on my own. I know that I need some accountability. I know that actually, left to my own devices, I'd give up. So I have got an amazing opportunity for a very small number of people to come and work with me privately on my brand new product, which is the Fearless Entrepreneur, which is 8 weeks of working with me. And this is private coaching. I'm really excited about it. It's about working with you as an individual and having a complete insight into your business. And looking at it from both a strategic point of view of, you know, what's happening now to where you want to be and figuring that out with you. And then the coaching side of it comes in whilst those 8 weeks, we just get into it. I support you, whatever you want. You get, I think it's 5 coaching calls. And you basically pull them down whenever you want. It's not like, well, we have one a week or, one a fortnight. It's like you might need a load at the beginning and one or two at the end. But more than that is that you get all of this support in between. So you might be creating a sales page, you want me to have a look at it. Or you might be getting into your launch and you're having a complete wobble about it. Well, you let me know. So I'm helping you every single step of the way. And this is so powerful in terms of results. This is about getting you results. And if you know that you actually want to take the summer off, or you want to have your business rocking and rolling before the summer months, this is the optimum time to do it. Because if you remember what I said, that actually you've got to be doing the activities now to get the results in 2 to 3 months' time. So this is the optimum time if you're looking at taking the summer off. If you like Terry, you've made that commitment that you want to spend more time with your family, well, this is the time to put the work in. And it's also about ensuring that you've got a sustainable and exciting business to come back to in September, because for many of those, September is quite a key time for us to generate money. So let me just get into the details of what these 8 weeks working with me looks like. So we kick off with a half-day session, just like I did with Karen last week, where we look at your business and we get really clear on your vision, on your mission. We start to look at your business model, your packages, your pricing. We look at your visibility. We look at your content. We look at everything. And we start to plan out what needs to happen, what needs to be let go of, who do we need to pass stuff on to, where do you need to step up. Then after that kind of 3 hours intensive, we have a planning session. And that's where I share all of the planning tools that you can use to plan out getting those results. So perhaps you're going to run a webinar here, and then you're going to launch something here. So what does that look like? What do you need to put in place? What are all those pieces? And then the continuous support is just something that you get. That's just done. And I say that there's 5 coaching calls. If you need more than that, that's what you'll get. It really isn't like some prescriptive thing at all. This is about, what you want. This is what you're going to get. The bonuses, of course, as bonuses, you get full access to my resource library, which has got absolutely freaking loads in there. So it's got mindset, it's got selling, creating, launching, visibility. Oh my gosh, what else have we got in there? I'm just trying to think. Building your tribe, growing your audience, putting together a freebie. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. So all of this packaged up all together is worth around £4,000. And that's no joke. At the end of the day, we're looking at building £5,000 consistently in your business. That's what you're working towards achieving. That's what I can help you achieve when you're all in it. So for the first 3 people who sign up in May for that, you can have that at £1,500. And there's a payment plan in place as well. So it's not £1,500 in full. However, if you do pay £1,500 in full, you'll get an extra month of support. So that's the Fearless Entrepreneur. This is about you stepping up in your game, creating a business that you absolutely love, understanding how to do it all, and being supported all the way along that as well. So if you like, yes, I want to explore this with you further, Rachel, all we need to do is to have a chat. This is not a pushy sales call. This is just an exploration of whether I'm a good fit for you and vice versa. This is working intimately and intensely with people. I want to make sure that it's going to work. So if you would want to have that conversation, let's just jump on a quick call and have that conversation, because at £1,500, these places are not going to hang around for very long. So let's have a look at the questions. Karen says she is going to do a challenge. Woohoo, well done, Karen. 3-day training scoped out for next week. I need to think of a wonderful name for it. So Karen, it's kind of like thinking about what are your clients, what is that big result that they want? So it could be like bust through your stress in 3 days. I don't know, replenish, re-energize, 3-day challenge. It's kind of thinking about something that would really appeal to your audience. What are the words that they use when they come and talk to you? 3 days from stressed to calm. So just think about that. So has anybody got any other questions for me? I'm here. I'm here till 3 if need be. Anybody get any questions about the content I've shared? What have been some of your biggest takeaways? Do you feel now, if you started the beginning of this call thinking that you couldn't actually achieve what you're looking for, do you feel as if you can now? Now you've had an insight into how somebody like myself actually generates 5K in the business. Do you feel as if you've had a great enough insight to know how you could do that? Let me know. Yes. So Sally, that happens for lots of my clients, that they have more than more than one client type. And there's a couple of ways of looking at it. So you could say that you've got to deal with each one separately, or it could be looking at the key traits of that, or deciding actually perhaps one client type is more your soul client than the others, and perhaps putting the emphasis on that. So lots of different things that you can do with that. Lindsay was saying, do you think that your Facebook groups were the most productive in terms of sales? Lindsay, I sell from my Facebook group all the time, but I'm in there constantly, aren't I? Building relationships, adding value, connecting with people. You know, if you're in Live Your Abundant Life, you know that you're going to get a ton of content and support. And you're going to be connected with like-minded people as well. So running your own Facebook group is a great strategy to have. It's about being committed. It's about understanding the strategy and committing your time to doing it. Terry, I bet there's a ton of things that you could actually launch. That would be amazing. But yeah, so Terry has come up with that sage-old problem that she works when she's being paid. And if it's the Terry that I'm thinking of, this lady sometimes gets up at crazy hours to do it. But in terms of what you could do, in fact, she's not on here, but one of my other clients, we just mapped out her very first funnel for creating a passive income. So Lynn's, so in terms of Terry, it's looking at I would say really, Terry, the crux of it is looking at your complete model and looking at your model and understanding that you want to hit 5K, and how are you going to do that? And also in that mix, I'd be thinking about how you want to work yourself. So do you really want to be in there working in your business 5 days a week? Or actually, are you looking to create a business where you can spend more time with the family? So what's that business model look like? And then go from that point. If you just keep on adding more hours, you will carry on working and working really hard. And you don't have to work hard like that. But there's definitely things that you could sell. Oh, thank you, Lindsay. Lindsay's saying I'm very supportive. I wonder if I should get a website. I might have mentioned it before, but if you want, even if a website is like something that's like for you, you haven't quite got round to it for whatever reason, and it might be because the income's not there to invest in the website, a full website. It could be that actually what you need is a domain name, a homepage, an about page, and a blog page. That's a mini website. There's still obviously some work to go behind it, but I'd definitely have a chat with Kelly and see what she could advise you there about it, Lindsay. A website, I mean, we haven't talked about Facebook ads, but let's just talk about that a little bit. So, like, for all of us, unless we don't have an online business, we will probably use Facebook ads at one time or another in our business. And, you know, Facebook's really clever and some really brilliant techniques and strategies behind it. And one of them is, if you're being active on social media, so let's say you've been active on your Facebook page, you can actually start to generate an audience behind that of people who have seen your content. And you can also generate the number of people who've been to your website. So what that means is that in the future, when you run a Facebook ad, is that you can run one to a warmed up audience who's already seen you. Perhaps they've seen a blog post, perhaps they've seen a social media post. So it's just thinking about your future business. You know, if you want to generate 5K in your business, what does that look like? And yes, do you need a website? That's kind of going to help you answer that question. But it could be that in the first instance that you go for like a slimmed down website. Could just be a homepage with a link to your blog post. But Kelly Cairns is your woman, most definitely. Any more questions? Any questions? Let me know. And anybody who's listening back to this recording, and if you have any questions afterwards, sometimes it's like afterwards we go, oh, what? Let me know. You can PM me. You can ask me over and Live Your Abundant Life. And if you are thinking, I want to be fearless in my business, I want to take up the opportunity to work with Rachel privately over 8 weeks and really bust through this, I really encourage you to just PM me. Let's get in for a call and let's explore that further. Right, if there are no further questions, I want to say thank you very much to everybody who's been here live today. It's been absolutely awesome to have you here. I'm so appreciative of your time and of your commitment. I would love for you during the week to pop over to Live Your Abundant Life and let me know what you are taking forward as a result of this live class. So thank you very much. Wishing you all the very best, and I look forward to connecting with you again soon. Bye for now, everybody.